And hello, YouTube. Pulling up chats wouldn't hurt either. We've had this weird issue with DLive chat that unfortunately precludes me popping it out on this computer. It's really weird. All right, there we go. We are good to go. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be laggy on me, huh? There. Okay. Pop out chat. Beautiful. Good. All right. Hello, welcome on. First in chat. Good to see you out there. Let me see what I have tagged. Steph is out and about today. She's traveling, so safe travels to her. And we are running by ourselves today. But fear not, I've tagged plenty. It's been plenty going on. All right, some footage of the attacks. We'll start there.
Mira, huevón, durísimo, chamo. Ya vas a ver un incendio, pero una vaina. Oye, oye, algo está pasando. Verga, marico.
You can hear that thing whistling coming in. Just...
Ya vas a ver un incendio, pero una vaina. Oye, oye, marico, algo está pasando. Verga, marico.
Yikes. Okay. Helicopter lighting up a building. Damn. There it is.
Offering mediation. What should we do
He
in order
has,
to stop that?
he has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
That's from back in October.
Thank you, everybody.
Some interesting shootings and burnings in DC overnight as well, which kind of, with all the stuff going on, made me scratch my head a little bit. Blaze at Enro home on Benning Road in Northeast. And then there was some shooting somewhere too. Yeah. At some kind of banquet hall. 3 adult males pronounced dead. That's likely gang stuff. Just saying. It's DC. It's PG. Is that PG County? Yeah. Almost certainly gang stuff, but I don't know about that fire. That fire definitely, I don't know. Thank you, honey. Yes. My tea. Oh, that was a pretty perfect amount of water. Oh, yeah. Maybe a little more next time, yeah. Ah, tasty. All right. We saw that clip. Oh, here's the warmth of collectivism, just, just for a vibe. The warmth comes when they pile the bodies up and start burning them. President Trump says he'll abolish the income tax in the near future. This is just the other day. I missed it, but
That at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay.
Not the first time we have heard that from the administration, from him personally, from a number of others. Besant, probably Lutnick has said it, I'm quite sure. They keep hitting on this. And at first it sounded a little like out there, like how could that even be? Now I'm not so sure. I think everyone's probably scratching their heads a little bit, maybe reconsidering that notion in the light of the fact that it seems like God knows how much of our federal budget is just fraud, just straight up fraud. Remains to be seen exactly how much, but with each passing day, it looks like more and more. If we can get rid of that and get rid of all of the people that don't belong here, and if we keep taking money in through tariffs, well, by golly, we very well may be where he suggests. That would really be something, I gotta say. We have a collection of footage here. Yeah, let's see. Whoa.
You can clearly hear helicopters in the
Black
distance.
choppers.
It's 1:58 in the morning. They're attacking Fort Pula.
Venezuela's.
I'm sure there's all kinds of screeching about how, we're entering into a war and Congress hasn't approved it and blah, blah, freaking blah. Wah, wah, wah. Meanwhile, the war literally started and ended while everyone was still sleeping. What war? What war? Where's the war? I don't see a war.
Capital city has been jolted awake in the dead of night, just after 1 a.m. local time.
I do think, I will say, that there is certain to be like legitimate controversy in the days to come. Already starting. I'm sure it is. Over the fact that we kidnapped the leader of another nation. Engaging in a brief military action that starts and ends within the span of like 12 hours is one thing, but when that operation involves the head of state of another country, it could definitely get a little hairy here. I don't know where that's going to go. The tack that the administration seems to be taking now is that he is the head of a terrorist cartel, rather than a head of state, and that terrorist cartel has taken control of the nation of Venezuela. That's what I've seen from Rubio and a few others so far today. So I imagine their legal justifications and arguments are going to be something to that effect. What I'm more curious about is how the international community at large, if you want to call it that, is gonna react to this, especially Russia and China, who have both thrown their support behind Venezuela in the past, in the very recent past. In the case of China, in fact, mere hours before all of this happened, they had a couple of envoys there. Let me look that up real quick. I haven't heard. Did the Chinese people make it out before all this happened, or were they still there during all this? Yeah, here's Maduro meeting. This has got to be some of the last footage of Maduro as a free man here.
A nuestra gente sin sentir nuestro cariño y admiración. Cariño.
Yep. So China's met with him. Russia has, give me a second, I got a headline I posted here. Russia back in December, so just hardly even a week ago, 10 days ago, said they pledged full support for Venezuela against U.S. hostilities. So, I mean, there's that. I haven't seen whether there have been official statements from Russia yet. I imagine by now there probably have been. CNN reporting that Russia, China, and Iran will be privately impressed with U.S. military capability in Venezuela. I mean, it certainly looks like we took care of business in very, very short order, very quick, very rapid time. Now, I suppose the big question there is like whether that was entirely due to our technological capability or whether it was due in part to their people standing down. And that I don't know. I don't know if it's, I haven't heard. I don't know if that info's out there yet, but wouldn't be too surprised to find out that it was in large part due to the fact that their people just didn't want to defend Maduro. At least, certainly in the face of U.S. military power. So at least that alone had an effect, you know. Even if they had tried, it still would have gone the way it went, I think, to be sure. Maybe we would have had some casualties. I understand we don't. We lost no one. A few injuries, I think, was what President Trump said. But that's it. Yep. I imagine they will be pretty impressed. Guess the question is how impressed. Finding, fixing, kidnapping, taking him alive with his wife, and no casualties. Yep.
Tell me how this news is being received in Iran. How's it being received in Russia? How's it being received in China?
All three predictably will deplore this kind of activity publicly. Privately, they will be impressed with the military capability here. I would argue none of those three militaries could have executed an operation like this. And again, we tend to just breeze by this. But the idea of finding, fixing, kidnapping, taking him out alive with his wife, no casualties on the side of the U.S., that's an extraordinary military operation. So I think while there will be a lot of public condemnation of the United States, predictably from those three nations, privately they'll be saying to themselves, that's a very capable military. That's not a bad thought to pop up in Beijing, Moscow, and Tehran.
Probably accurate.
On these days.
Probably accurate. Culpernon in D-Live chat says UK's Keir Starmer immediately stated that he had nothing to do with Maduro's capture and then immediately left for a gay rave with Macron. Seriously? I guess we're at the point where I have to actually wonder whether or not that's a joke. All right, so what has Russia said on this? See if we can find anything. Russia's foreign ministry condemns U.S. actions in Venezuela. It's an unacceptable violation of the sovereignty of an independent state, respect for which is a key principle of international law. So I wonder where the support for Venezuela against U.S. hostilities is. Nowhere to be found, I guess. Let's see China. We have yet to hear any sort of comment from China as of a couple hours ago. Let's listen to this. It's with Trump.
Mr. President, what do you make of the fact that just hours before the airstrike, there was a Chinese delegation meeting with Nicolas Maduro, and we have yet to hear from China any sort of comment on the attacks?
I know nothing about that, but I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and there's not going to be a problem. And they're going to get oil. We're going to allow people to have oil.
Mr. President, what do you
And so the big news coming out of this, obviously, we are going to be all up in their oil business, as you might imagine, of course. So we'll see what that means for us. Could end up meaning cheaper gas eventually. I don't know. Trump has said our oil companies will be doing business in Venezuela. I bet they're overjoyed at that. Here we go.
Going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And
they ought to be a wildly wealthy nation by all rights.
Ready to stage a second
And the fact that they're not is a crime.
and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to
A crime perpetrated by Maduro and friends.
do a second wave. Going to have our very large
All right. Do we see all these?
The peace and stability of the country.
Still unconfirmed, speak of Chinook helicopters overhead.
It's this with Maduro in a
Non-stop
car.
detonation bigger. This is a developing story.
What I can absolutely assure you is that our comprehensive national defense system, which integrates the popular military and police forces, has consistently guaranteed and continues to uphold the territorial integrity of our nation, the peace and stability of the country,
This is
and
from January 1st.
the complete use and enjoyment of all our
They
sovereign
have been
territory.
driving around like a
And our people are living
South American dictators are so weird.
safely and peacefully.
Did the United States secretly strike inside Venezuelan territory? Did CIA
Yes. All of the above. All right. Back to my pile here. Hold on. Okay, where were we here? A Venezuelan American weighs in. Okay. I haven't watched this yet, but I tagged it because obviously it's of interest.
Okay, as a Venezuelan American, I got some shit to say. My family, my parents, my sister, my extended family, all lost everything. Their work, their savings, their investments, gone. Wiped out by a narco dictatorship that has held Venezuela in a death grip for over 25 years. And what happened to my family has happened to millions, and yes, millions. The Venezuelan exodus is the second largest displacement crisis on earth after Syria. This is not just a tragedy. It is one of the great humanitarian disasters of our time. But the suffering doesn't end there. This regime has jailed hundreds of political prisoners. Thousands have been murdered simply for speaking out. More than a third of the population has fled. 1/3. Not for better opportunities or for the American dream, but to survive, to live.
Well, I mean, some of them did the first part too, but you know.
Because staying often means death. And while the world may see Venezuela as a collapsed state, what it is in reality is an occupied one. Our territory, our natural resources, and our institutions have been overrun by hostile foreign powers. Iranian militias, Chinese corporations, Russian intelligence, all exploiting our country with impunity. Venezuela is no longer
Well, hopefully now they'll be exploited with less impunity and at least make some money in the deal.
just a local crisis. It is now a geopolitical.
It's almost certainly going to be the case. They're going to. I think Trump will treat them well.
threat that endangers the entire Western Hemisphere. It has become a launch pad for an authoritarian expansion in the Americas. And in the midst of all of this, one woman has dared to lead the charge for freedom. Maria Corina Machado. In 2024, against every odd, she led a peaceful democratic uprising that won the election. Her team smuggled physical voting receipts out of the country, hard proof of victory that the regime tried to bury. Her courage has lit a fire in the hearts of millions of Venezuelans desperate to believe that change is still possible. But now some have questioned her decision to dedicate her Nobel Prize to Donald Trump. Okay, I get that. But here's the truth. It was a brilliant strategic move in the global chessboard of politics. Maria Corina is no fool. She knows exactly the kind of man Trump is. She knows how much he campaigned for it, loudly and relentlessly, to win that very same prize. She knows how symbolic and personal that recognition is to him. And precisely because of that, she understood that this gesture might be the thing that keeps his attention focused on Venezuela at a time
Venezuela.
when U.S. presence and pressure in the Caribbean is rising. She didn't dedicate that award to flatter him. She did it to protect and preserve the one kind of power that could help shift the course of history. Because for her, this isn't about pride. It's not about optics. It's about freedom. And let's be very clear. Maria Corina is not asking for the U.S. to invade Venezuela. She's not campaigning for war. Venezuela is already invaded. It is held hostage by a narco state, overrun by foreign agents and enemies of democracy, Russians, Iranians, Chinese, all operating freely, weaponizing our land and resources to expand their influence across Latin America. What Maria Corina is calling for, what millions of Venezuelans are praying for, is the support of the only military on earth capable of countering that threat and helping to free our people. This is not imperialism. This is liberation. She's not playing partisan games. She's playing for Venezuela's life. Because this isn't theoretical. This isn't academic. This is life or death. So yes, it is time to honor her bravery, but more importantly, it is time for the world, especially the free world,
to throw their support behind her to be the new leader of Venezuela.
To recognize what's at stake. The fight for Venezuela is a fight for freedom, for democracy, and for the stability of an entire continent. If we truly care about liberty, human dignity, and peace in the Americas, then Venezuela's fight must matter to all of us. Que viva Venezuela, que viva Maria Corina Machado.
So, look, realistically speaking here, this video and a lot of others like it are almost certainly astroturf by our intelligence agencies. I just want to just be real here. This, that's what this reeks of to me. And I'm not saying that's even necessarily a bad thing. It's a necessary part of operations like this, but you just got to make sure you have your head screwed on straight when it comes to the stuff you're watching. I truly hope that this ends well for the people of Venezuela and all the bullshit they've dealt with is a thing of the past. You're probably going to end up seeing a lot more of this stuff. Just a heads up, and I would take a lot of it with a grain of salt. just in terms of whether it's genuine or not. I'm not trying to be like a Debbie Downer in saying this at all, because it's a necessary part of what took place over there. You know, they took out a leader, and you gotta, it leaves a power vacuum, and by golly, if we don't fill it, someone else is going to. So naturally, they're going to have a chosen candidate that we'll be throwing our support behind. It's obviously going to be Machado. And that's probably going to be the best thing for them at this point. I mean, we'll see if that plays out, but just be careful out there.
What do you see as the future of Venezuela's oil industry?
Well, I see that we're going to be very strongly involved in it. That's all. I mean, what can I say? We have the greatest oil companies in the world, the biggest, the greatest, and we're going to be very much involved in it. We can't do something like this, and we're prepared. You know, we were prepared to do a second wave. We were all set and very
didn't need to.
This was so lethal. This was so powerful that we didn't have to, but we're prepared. We're out there with an armada like nobody's ever seen before, and we're prepared, and frankly, probably thought we were going to have to do it, but we were prepared for a second wave going in.
What do you see as the future of Venezuela's oil industry?
Lost no aircraft?
But that we had nobody killed, that we lost no aircraft. You know, everything came back. We got it all back. One of them was hit pretty hard, but a helicopter, but we got it back. But it just was the right time to do it. We had to do it because it's a war. We're losing 300,000 people a year. We don't lose that much in a war. Yep. But that we had no.
Maduro and his wife were first taken on board the USS Iwo Jima.
Can you tell us where Maduro and his wife are right this second?
Well, they'll be heading to New York. You know, they were indicted in New York, and also.
So were they taken to a ship first, and then?
Yes, to Iwo Jima. They were on a ship.
Okay.
But they'll be heading into New York. The helicopters took them out. They went by helicopter in a nice flight. I'm sure they loved it. But they've killed a lot of people. Remember that. They killed a lot of people. And
a lot of Americans.
Even people in their own country. They killed a lot of people to maintain power. He's a very vicious person.
Can you tell us where...
Here's the first, apparently, the first images of Maduro post-capture. Dated January 3rd. Flanked by DEA and who knows who else. Boy, that hair is looking done. Guess he had his stylist do him up before arrest. Gotta look pimping. Mike Benz lays out his theory about Epstein's early career. What, at BCCI? Yeah. Interesting.
Guys, we just broke the entire Jeffrey Epstein story. If Ace Greenberg brought Jeffrey Epstein into the BCCI deals at Bear, that explains literally everything. It explains Jeffrey Epstein's meteoric rise. It explains why everyone was so charmed by him. Hint, not because of his charm. It explains how in 1982 he's already meeting with major CIA, MI6, Saudi intelligence officials, Doug Lee, Stan Pottinger, Adnan Khashoggi, Middle Eastern sheikhs. Oh, it's because he handled BCCI at Bear, handling CIA financing, disguising illegal weapons sales as complex financial transactions for commodities or oil. That explains how Jeffrey Epstein got a specialty in complex financial transactions. Oh, because he got it because he was put on the BCCI account. Oh, that explains how he's working with Edgar Bronfman, because BCCI was helping U.S., Saudi, British, but also Israeli interests in the Iran-Iraq affair and in Afghanistan. That explains how he was protected every time he got in trouble with fraud. The Justice Department takes action against Jeffrey Epstein for securities laws violations. Jeffrey Epstein openly says in court that Bear Stearns was actually secretly moving money for the CIA. Well, that can't come out in open court. Okay, let's not move forward with prosecution. Don't want to reveal national security secrets. That explains how Jeffrey Epstein has these French intelligence connection points, how Jeffrey Epstein has these British intelligence connection points, how he's got these Israeli intelligence connection points. That explains so he's got these Saudi intelligence connection points, and that definitely explains how he has all these CIA connection points. They're all connected through the late 1970s Safari Club network that then scaled up BCCI.
It is great work. It's true. He's onto something with that. People have oversimplified Epstein for years. Tried to lay it on one nation or another, one person or another. Oh no. It's worse. I like that Trump is circling back to voter fraud from 2020. Oh, he's posting about it. Look at that from a few days ago.
Flash forward to 2 o'clock in the morning. At midnight, Trump was ahead 10%, which was an unusually high amount. To about 2 o'clock in the morning, my monitor went down. It totally rebooted. So unless you can tell me there wasn't a data dump, there wasn't a data breach, I don't believe that the numbers were true, because when I went home and woke up, all of a sudden Biden was ahead. We had processed 120,000 votes by midnight out of the 170,000 absentee ballots we were expecting. So I assumed we were missing about 50,000, and all of a sudden Biden was now missing. And Sidney Powell did discuss something about this in Rudy Giuliani's press conference, and I do believe I did witness that. And the voting had stopped in the middle of the night. So unless you were one of the few processing tables, you would not have seen this.
Sheesh. So they did it. Venezuelans in Miami praising President Trump over the recent actions.
La veo muy emocionada llorando. ¿Cómo se siente? Cuéntanos por qué llora.
Crying.
La veo muy...
How are you feeling? Tell us why you're crying.
Cuéntanos por qué llora.
Oh, what happiness. So many years waiting for this, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh my God, this is an immense joy. Thank you, Lord. Thank you to the President of the United States. I've been waiting for years. How I've suffered, how they've hurt me, how they've killed my brothers. This has been horrible, my friend. How many years have you been here in the United States? How long have you been in Venezuela? I've been here for 8 years now, 8 years, because they killed my oldest brother, and it was hard. They kidnapped my brothers. That was hard. I thank God for all of this, because it's been hard. Thank you very much. What part of Venezuela are you from? Maracaibo. What do you say to the people who are watching right now?
Personas que están viendo en este momento toda esta emoción de los venezolanos, a los venezolanos que...
All this emotion from Venezuelans to the Venezuelans who've been at the center of attention in the news, both because of what is happening in Venezuela and because of the exodus of Venezuelans, the Venezuelan migrants. That yes, strength, that yes, it can be done, that they have peace like I have been waiting for this for 27 years. That yes, it can be done. They have hope for everything, that we're going to be free, a free, prosperous country, and that we're all going to go out and enjoy this moment. New Yorkers maybe celebrating? Venezuelans in New York?
Muchos años esperando esta pronta libertad, que todavía, bueno, pero por lo menos
No telling where.
estamos saliendo de una de las peores ratas
In New York.
de Venezuela.
Gracias al gobierno de
Might be
Trump
Venezuela itself. I don't know.
por esta libertad que nos está brindando. De alguna manera se convierte junto a Edmundo González y a María Corina Machado en los libertadores de Venezuela.
Esto es algo que no sé cómo explicarlo, o sea, es una emoción indescriptible.
Muchos años.
Yeah, I would love to see more from people on the ground. That's what I'm most interested in. What are they thinking right now?
Yeah, it's not the first time he said something like this either. I can remember as long ago as 2015 when the president was doing his first campaign when he said, why would we go into Iraq unless we were prepared to take some of their oil? So this is a recurring theme, and I believe it's probably one of the reasons for confusion about what the real end state of this mission really is. Is it truly to capture a drug dealer or a narco-terrorist, as they're calling him now? Or is it regime change, which they've said a couple of times? Because it doesn't seem like they've changed the regime. They've just taken one of the key leaders of it.
What?
Or is it truly all about energy sources?
Can it be all of the above?
And the potential for taking over oil fields. Again, these are all parts of the things that will lead to chaos in terms of the discussion of what comes next. What is going to happen and what are the end states? Is it truly just taking away Maduro from his government, or is it really entering the nation of Venezuela, probably with not a whole lot of support after you've just bombed it, to try and get oil resources?
And
Shameless. Okay, what do we have here? Live streams on TikTok. People in Venezuela, I guess. Let's see. Oh, well, we'll jump to that next. We'll jump to YouTube and look for some live streams from natives on the ground there. Certainly looks like a celebration to me. This is just out at some gas station. The Chevron logo on the back. So I don't know where this is, but having fun. Good stuff. Okay. That is in Madrid. Okay, so not in Venezuela. I don't know about the first one, but I don't think it's it's Miami. Told you that Chevron logo is a dead giveaway. Not going to see that shit in Venezuela. Not yet anyway. Maybe give it like a month. Might see it, but all right, let's check YouTube here. Filters, live. If anyone can find anyone on the ground there, let me know. I don't know if it's even possible at this point, or if they have communication shut down or what. What? This claims to be supporters of the Venezuelan government gathering in Caracas, but let's check the source. Financial Express. Seems kind of sketchy. I wouldn't trust that. Here's Madrid. Oh, look at that. You got a mega hat out and about on a pretty lady.
Con el corazón. ¡Viva el Mundo González! ¡Viva el Premio Nobel! Aquí seguimos. Nosotros estamos preparados para arrancar.
Brasil está en más baixas da história, só deu poder.
Bueno, seguimos.
Reuters, shock, concern, and celebration. Venezuelans react to U.S. strikes.
Vehicles and buses were still smouldering at daybreak in Caracas on Saturday, as residents expressed shock after the U.S. strikes hit military bases in Venezuela and removed President Nicolas Maduro. Many people.
How long do you think? What are the odds on how long it is until protests from the usual crowds start springing up in major cities?
Stayed home as Venezuelan security forces patrolled the streets. Of those who are out, some express hope of political change.
Is everyone ready for No Kings Venezuela edition?
While people like Baker Franklin Jimenez concerned that this will create an even worse conflict than the one we have now, and that we all have to go out into the streets to defend our homeland, to defend ourselves. But excitement is in the air for supporters of the opposition.
In Peru.
Led by Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado outside the country. Venezuelans celebrated in Peru with people like Milagros Ortega talking of returning home.
My dad, being a political leader in Venezuela, was able to see this change.
That is an interesting little point raised right there. Could end up seeing a lot of these people return home where they ought to be, rebuilding their country, making it great.
He used to say, "Daughter, when you go back, when this government leaves, you'll return to Venezuela." And to know that my dad in his lifetime was able to see the fall of Nicolas Maduro, look, for me it's an emotion. I would like to see his face.
Since 2014, around 7.7 million Venezuelans have left the country, according to the UN International Organization for Migration. Venezuelans living in Spain also rejoiced at Maduro's capture, while they tried to get hold of friends and relatives still in the country. Some of them are sheltering at home. A few other people in Caracas went out to stock up on essentials. Some of them are concerned that they may now have to hunker down for a prolonged period, uncertain of what is to come.
Algo que estaba esperando durante
Charred military vehicles.
All the same footage with these different spots here. Come on, give me some fresh stuff. Here we go. Venezuelans in Doral, Florida.
Gabriela Arzola. She is joining us live from Doral. She is outside in Arepaso, which we know is the mecca of the Venezuelan community there. And Gabby,
the scene's pretty busy behind you, Gabby. It's 6 a.m. and people have been out there. Can you tell us about what you're seeing and how long you've been seeing people out there reacting to this news?
Guys, history is being made in real time. There are hundreds of people here in El Arepaso, which, like you said, has been the mecca for Venezuelans speaking out against injustices in their country for decades. I'm here joined by Edgar. Edgar has been here since he was 11 years old, born and raised in Venezuela, out here since early this morning. Tell me, why did you want to be out here?
Well, okay, before I begin, I
I just want to talk to you, America, and I hope you have your coffee when I tell you this, but these are great news. All eyes on Venezuela. These are historical news. This is history in the making. I mean, my chest, it feels like it's gonna explode with joy because before I was even born, there have been struggles. My family has been fighting for so many years before I was even here. They have told me about it. They told me about a time where democracy existed, and now I can finally look forward to that. And that's just everything that I can ask for. And I just want to tell you people, America, Venezuelans are good people. The greatest people that I know. I can vouch for them. We are good. We are working hard, and this is President Donald Trump and Maria Corina Machado just created an opportunity for us to begin working harder than ever, because that's what we have always been doing, but now we will be working in our country. But we also have worked so hard here in the United States to build so much things, and I just want to thank you, America. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to work.
There's a lot of pride that
That's nice to hear.
comes with Venezuelans. He actually wore this flag just like this for his college graduation.
I miss people talking about America like that.
University of Florida, just to show you how much love there is for this country that has gone through so much for so long. Being here has been incredible. People are dancing, people are cheering, and we've been here so many times, Christian, like you've said in the past, when there have been so many issues, and they would cheer, "Si se puede, si se puede." Now they're cheering, "Si se pudo." Yes, we did it. It happened. What do you think now this means for Venezuela, for family back home, how people can move forward after this?
Well, that's where the uncertainty comes. I plead, America, again, I plead for you, for mercy for us Venezuelans. People such as me, I have been here almost my whole life, all of my youth. And I do believe that the future of Venezuelans is in Venezuela. But I also think that some of us and some people here also want to continue working here in the United States, building a beautiful nation. Doral. I mean, this is the stronghold of Venezuelans, and it's a beautiful city. I recommend everybody to come here to Doral. I recommend everybody, if you're Venezuelan, everyone, come down here to Arepaso. Yes, come celebrate with us. We love everybody because you, America, has loved us so much, so much. Thank you, America.
Edgar, thank you so much for sharing those sentiments. Guys, this is something that I find
Interesting. Let's keep poking around here. Where else can we go? It's like a lot of activity in Doral, yeah. As he said, a Venezuelan stronghold. I think we'd see some people in, oh, there we go, Miami. Well, largely universal celebration from their people is a good sign. All around a good sign. That is just good. Very good. Where else? Give me some other cities here.
We are following some major breaking news. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife have been captured by United States forces. And right now, the vice president of Venezuela is demanding proof of life. Now, the Venezuelan government says it does not know where Maduro is. And this follows airstrikes across the country overnight. So I want to give you a live look right now in Caracas. People there, they are in the streets. You see them standing there. They are taking video. They're trying to figure out what is going on as the country is in flux. We have heard people chanting that you will not take Maduro away from us. We want to go live now here in South Florida to our own reporter within the Venezuelan community, which the chants here, Steve, are very different than what they are in Venezuela.
Absolutely. Even though there's been a shelter in place order here in the United States, people here in Doral have just been jubilant here. The Venezuelan community has been coming out as the sun has been rising here, right side of El Arepazo here in Doral. I want to step out so you can see. Everyone here has just filled this entire gas station here. They've been singing, they've been dancing, they've been chanting freedom. They've been singing the U.S. national anthem, the Venezuelan national anthem. For many of the people we've spoken to here, this is a day that's going to go down in history for the Venezuelan community, essentially a liberation day for them, because many of the people here, this goes through generations, as we've talked about. There are people that have had to live through the Hugo Chavez and then Nicolas Maduro, and then with the election that happened in Venezuela. And so many people here are really just sinking in the fact that Nicolas Maduro has been removed from Venezuela, and they're hoping that the country can move forward. And even
yeah, give me 1 second there. Colonel Flom in YouTube chat is asking for a link to that video of the young man being interviewed. I will definitely grab that for you. Give me 1 minute. I believe that was this one. Yes. There we go, sir. All right. Let's get some more reactions from Venezuelans here. Yeah, I want some people in Venezuela.
Sentirse asustado como todo amaneció el venezolano como tal el día de hoy y en la madrugada que muchas familias no pudieron dormir como tal.
Ellos son los que imponen la ley, pues. Son los policías del mundo. Policías asesinos, porque son asesinos. Eso no...
Interesting, the difference in reactions from people on the ground there and people who fled years ago. Listen, guys. Come on, give me more than that. Here's Venezuela's interior minister.
Muy buenos días al pueblo de Venezuela. Estamos acá en la ciudad capital, en Caracas, luego de haber hecho una evaluación.
We're here in the capital city, Caracas, after assessing the damage.
De los daños causados por el ataque criminal, el ataque terrorista contra nuestro pueblo, contra el suelo patrio, contra nuestro pueblo. Criminal, el ataque terrorista. De los daños.
Assessing the damage caused by the criminal attack, the terrorist attack against our people, against our homeland, against our electrical facilities. Interesting. Against the Bolivarian Revolution. And against those who have nothing to do with the Bolivarian Revolution. It's an attack against Venezuela. Against the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, military forces, police forces here with me as a group of them, the people ready for any situation, ready for any event, blah, 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 you know, all that stuff. I'm calling our people to remain calm, Trust in our leadership. Trust in the political and military high command to handle the situation we're facing. Okay. Gosh, wish we could get more from people in the city. Houston.
Where reactions are pouring in from our local Venezuelan community. Hey everyone, it's KJ11's Michelle Choi. Take a look, Venezuelan flags, hugs, tears, laughter, emotions overflowing. This group gathered outside Querencia Latin Market after learning the U.S. says it captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. People here
Venezuelans living in Santiago, Chile in celebration. So that's reasonably close to the nation itself. Quite a few of them, too. Wow. Oh, yeah. Widespread celebration there. That's good. Maduro's last video.
Amor.
Oh,
We have had.
It's that one. The one we saw. Yeah. Trump says U.S. will run Venezuela after forces capture Maduro.
Estamos, el pueblo en la calle, indignado, molesto. Aquí estamos.
The mayor of Caracas, Carmen Melendez.
No nos vamos a retirar de la calle hasta que sepamos de nuestro presidente.
She's mad. Her gravy train's probably coming to an end.
Nuestra vicepresidenta pidió una fe de vida. Nosotros estamos en la calle pidiendo la fe de vida, que nos devuelvan a nuestro presidente, que lo han secuestrado.
Some people telling us they were out here as early as around 2 a.m. as that news started to come out of Venezuela of the developments in that country, and just speaking to what has been going on there and how it has had a ripple effect in this country. Just spoke a short time ago with a young woman who says she hasn't seen her father in 3 years because she was able to get to this country here in the U.S. Her father is still in that country, so they are separated at this time, and that is certainly a story that would be familiar for many families throughout this community. Doral, Florida, just outside of Miami, is affectionately known as Doralzuela, so a place with a substantial Venezuelan community, people with Venezuelan roots, and this morning it has been a party out here. We've heard people singing the Star-Spangled Banner as well as the Venezuelan national anthem. Someone at one point even popping a bottle of champagne before 8 in the morning on the East Coast.
Good for them.
And people have also been chanting here at this gas station, the chants including "He has fallen down," that chant in Spanish referring to Nicolas Maduro, who of course President Trump has said is now on his way to America. Some people telling us they were out here as early as around 2 a.m. as that news started to come out of Venezuela of the developments in that country, and just speaking to what has been going on.
All right, back over to X. What else can we find here? Okay. Venezuelans in Venezuela, it looks like. Can't tell for sure, but this one's doing some kind of goofy social media dance. I don't even know, with fireworks. Send one of those shooting up her dress. Pew! Ay, ay, ay! Careful there, girlie. Cutting it a little close. Okay.
Judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious, because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States. Judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. Late last night.
Got some tagged here while that was playing. Tom Cotton reacting. All right.
Was Congress or any of the committees notified in advance notice of this operation?
Not in advance, and that's probably one reason why it didn't leak over these 4 days, as they are waiting for the right weather. But let me just make an analogy here.
The only giveaway was the Pentagon pizza meter. That's right. The what do they call that? Let's find it. Pentagon pizza index. That's what it is. The Pentagon pizza index. That was the only real indicator. Was orders for pizza shooting up at like 2 o'clock in the morning last night.
Again, Congress isn't notified when the FBI is going to arrest a drug trafficker or a cyber criminal here in the United States, nor should Congress be notified when the executive branch is executing arrests on indicted persons. And that's really what you can make the analogy to here. In fact, the FBI was part of this operation, part of the arrest of Maduro and his wife, who were indicted here in the United States. So Congress doesn't need to be notified every time the executive branch is making an arrest, and that's exactly what happened this morning in Venezuela. And now Maduro is going to come to the United States, and he's going to face justice.
Was
the great conspiracy 9818 in YouTube chat says he's never heard of that. The Pentagon Pizza Index? Yeah. So I guess it's more known to like people around here. But it's become kind of a national thing over the years. It's even got a website. Look at that. They watch the activity on Google on all of the pizza restaurants near the Pentagon and look for spikes in activity in the middle of the night. It's actually pretty brilliant. And ends up being reasonably accurate, too. All right, what else we got? I think I tagged something else in there. Ah, yes, more Trump. Just confirmed that all refining in military capacity has been decimated.
Overnight. Late last night, part of Caracas, to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer. All perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York, it's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight.
Here's Emmanuel Macron reacting in a tweet somewhere. There we go. The Venezuelan people are today rid of the dictatorship of Nicolas Maduro and can only rejoice at this. By seizing power and trampling on fundamental freedoms, Nicolas Maduro has dealt a grave blow to the dignity of his own people. The transition to come must be peaceful, democratic, and respectful of the will of the Venezuelan people. We hope that President Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia, elected in 2024, will be able to ensure this transition as quickly as possible. I'm currently meeting with our regional partners. France is fully mobilized and vigilant, particularly to ensure the safety of its nationals during these hours of uncertainty. Okay. Venezuelans celebrating in Times Square.
I'm waiting for this day. It's a special. Thanks, President Trump. Of course, thanks. Oh my God, this is a special day. I am very excited. I am very happy. It's amazing.
Very excited.
It's amazing.
What do you mean? Me too, man. I'm excited for you.
quédate en casa.
Amén. Pero ya dijeron que van a
Tell me it was okay to
What do you think we should do to Maduro when he comes to the U.S.?
No es only Maduro, esa narco dictadura, es your wife, Celia Flores. I need, we need a Diosdado Cabello, we need a Delcy Rodriguez, we need a Jorge Rodriguez. Esa narcotraffic, es the moment, the justice.
And could you tell me one more
Couldn't
time
make hardly any of that, but I'm with you, dude.
how you're feeling today, but in Spanish?
You mean that wasn't Spanish?
Es indescriptible. Es el día que esperé durante demasiados años en mi vida. Mamá, vamos a regresar. Vamos a regresar, mamita.
Gracias.
Thanks.
Oh, ¿su nombre?
My name is Frank.
Gracias.
Gracias. Mucho, nosotros también. No hemos ni dormido. No hay dormido.
¡Que viva Donald Trump! ¡Lo amamos, lo queremos!
¡Felices!
The best president de los United States,
Esperamos
Donald
tanto,
Trump.
con ansias, con tanta ganas, le deseamos que no nos lo podemos ni creer.
Mr. President, you are the best president of the world, bro. Estoy agradecido con usted, señor presidente, y gracias a usted estamos poniendo mi país libre para que muchos venezolanos nos vayamos de aquí de tu país con la puerta grande. Que Dios te bendiga, muchas bendiciones para ti y bueno, para adelante que para allá.
No idea.
Para coger impulso.
Gracias. I'm guessing he's happy. We'll come back to that in a second. There's more on Times Square. It's the same people. All right. Meanwhile, in Iran, the anti-regime protesters are flooding the streets of Tehran again, chanting "Long live the Shah." I wonder if we'll see Iran fall next. Something tells me we will. All right, let's go to this side over here. We'll see what we can find here. Colonel Cedric Layton.
This was
U.S. Air Force, retired.
Basically textbook from that standpoint. Special operations forces like Delta Force who conduct these operations practice this quite a bit. And the fact that they did the planning only since December, as Elena was reporting, that is actually pretty remarkable because a lot of these missions take a lot of time to prepare. A lot, you know, when we look at the planning that went into Iraq, for example, that took months. Panama took basically over a year with fits and starts. So that is the kind of thing that, you know, when you look at, you have to say from a purely military perspective, this was a very successful operation. This was basically.
I think Venezuelans in the United States are feeling great. They're thanking President Trump for his actions, and I'm personally thanking President Trump for his actions, and my community thanks him for his actions. It's not only Venezuelans, but also, as you know, there's a huge Cuban-American community here. looking at the possible ramifications of this, ripple effects of this action on Cuba itself, and then Nicaragua too, a huge Nicaraguan community here. And so Miami is happy today. Now let's see where this goes. This is the first step, and then let's see where this goes. Hopefully and rightfully, the America is now, the United States and this administration is focusing in on Latin America. It's in America's best interest to focus on Latin America. It's in America's best interest to get rid of these narco-terrorists that have been killing hundreds of thousands of Americans, and it's our #1 job to protect Americans and our interests. But it's also in America's interest to make sure their adversaries don't have the bases of operations that they've had in Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba, and other parts of Latin America and Central America. And so this is a good day, and we're very happy here. And again, thank you, President Trump, for taking this action. It's long past due, and we're glad that you're the President of the United States and that you've taken the action that's necessary to protect, not only to restore democracy and freedom to the Venezuelan people, but to protect America's interests.
Indeed. Okay, Mike Johnson, 4 hours ago. I've spoken in the last several hours with Secretary Rubio and Hegseth, and the nation will hear from the president at 11 a.m., which we already have. Today's military action in Venezuela was a decisive and justified operation that will protect American lives. Nicolas Maduro is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans after years of trafficking illegal drugs and violent cartel members into our country, crimes for which he's been properly indicted in U.S. courts and an arrest warrant duly issued. And today he learned what accountability looks like. President Trump is putting American lives first, succeeding where others have failed. Under his leadership, the United States will no longer allow criminal regimes to profit from wreaking havoc and destruction on our country. Trump admin is working to schedule briefings for members as Congress returns to Washington next week. Okay.
The U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards. Did that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's when we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, he has cocaine mills. He has factories
This
where
is speaking about Colombian President Gustavo Petro.
he makes cocaine.
He makes cocaine.
I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, here's General Raisin Kane.
As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise. As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit, but remained flyable, and as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima.
Okay. Let's go to here we go. Hegseth.
Last night, on the order of the President of the United States.
Oh, we just saw. All right.
As the President said, words can barely capture the bravery and the power and the precision of this historic operation. A massive joint military and law enforcement raid flawlessly executed by the greatest Americans our country has to offer. American warriors are second to none, the best in the world and the best of our country. What all of us witnessed last night was sheer guts and grit, gallantry and glory of the American warrior. I'm simply humbled by such men, and I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors are the elite of America, and again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve, the most powerful combination the world has ever seen.
Okay. Trump tells the New York Post that U.S. troops won't be in Venezuela if Maduro's VP does what we want. We have a second wave ready to go, I guess, if he doesn't. Okay. So Trump told the Post in an exclusive interview that U.S. troops won't be stationed in Venezuela so long as ousted strongman Nicolas Maduro's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez does what we want. In the aftermath of a daring U.S. raid that captured Maduro, Trump made the clarification moments after a press conference where he said that we're going to run the country ahead of a democratic transition, introducing the prospect of a U.S. occupation. Asked by the Post if U.S. troops will be on the ground helping to run the country, Trump said no, if Maduro's vice president does what we want, we won't have to do that. We're prepared, he added. You know, we have a second wave that's much bigger than the first wave. He said that we've spoken to her, Delcy Rodriguez, numerous times, and she understands. She was apparently in Russia at the time of the attack. Huh. Trump ordered surprise mission in Venezuela was conducted around 2 a.m. local time, featuring more than 150 military aircraft. Oh, he apparently also said, I guess, during the press conference. Oh, no, to the Post. He told the Post that he's not considering additional military action against Cuba, Venezuela's longtime ally, because Cuba is going to fall of its own volition. Cuba is doing very poorly, Trump said. Moments earlier, Rubio had said during the press conference that, quote, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned at least a little bit. Oh. Interesting. Okay.
This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way.
And if you don't know, now you know, nigga.
It's going to play out. And I think people need to understand that this is not a president
Where's that from? That's Dr. Dre. That's what that is.
Just talks and does letters and press conferences. And, you know, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States. And the president addressed it. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out.
All right. What else? Former Vice President Delcy Rodriguez addresses the nation. This is hot off the presses here, I guess. Let's see if we can find an extended clip. Appears at a press conference asking for the release of Maduro and Celia Flores. Trump implied that she would collaborate up to an eventual transition to democracy. She does not seem committed.
Gobiernos del mundo están sencillamente.
Governments around the world, she says here, are simply shocked that the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela is the victim and target of an attack of this nature, which undoubtedly has a Zionist tinge. Oh, we're going there, are we? Oh boy, it is truly shameful. Our father liberator said it in the Jamaica letter. The veil has been torn. Okay. We have already seen the light. Okay. Sounding a bit occult here. And they want to drag us back into darkness. Hold on. The chains have been broken. We have already been free. And our enemies intend to enslave us again. If there is one thing that the Venezuelan people and this country are absolutely clear about, it is that we will never again be slaves. All of Venezuela is mobilized. And the decree that has already been signed by President Maduro, the only president of Venezuela, there is only one president in this country, and his name is Nicolas Maduro Moros. Well, that didn't take long. I guess that second wave is, well, any moment now. I wish we had more subtitles for the rest of this. There's clearly a lot more. Would definitely like to hear the rest of it. Calls it an illegal and illegitimate kidnapping of the president and the first lady. All of Venezuela is activated. She's reportedly fled to Russia, or I guess was already in Russia. I have to assume she's probably going to stay there for the time being. I don't know, maybe not. This claims to be in Caracas, so I don't know if that means the broadcast agency or if she herself is in Caracas.
Lo que entiendo, ella acaba de tomar el
Desde este exigimos
We demand the immediate release of Maduro and his wife.
8 minutos de la madrugada. El gobierno de los Estados Unidos
Okay. That's all we get from that for now. But gotta say, it looks like we're probably going back at this point.
President Trump talking about an historic extraction of the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, his wife, presumably taken to en route in custody in New York, Southern District of New York, and the president alluding to the fact that they may well be moved to Florida, to that jurisdiction for prosecution. We'll see about that. That's kind of a separate issue, I suppose. But I think it's very historic, Alex, because of course this brings to mind the extraction in, I guess it was the late 80s, 1989, 1990, during the George H.W. Bush administration of Manuel Noriega from Panama. Similar circumstances, accused of running drugs, having drugs emanating from that area. And was certainly a burr in the saddle in terms of the Bush administration at the time. So now we have a situation where it appears the same sort of thing has happened with Mr. Maduro. A little bit different, though, because if I heard the president correctly, he said we're going to run it until the time there is a proper and appropriate transition in place, meaning running the country of Venezuela, which is something different.
Let's see if I tagged anything else. Yes, I did. Oh yeah, Cuban woman wakes up her husband to share with him the news that Maduro's gone.
It's 4:30 in the morning. Let's go wake up my husband and tell him that Nicolas Maduro was captured by the United States. Joel.
Dios.
Capturaron a Nicolas Maduro.
¿Eh?
Capturaron a Nicolas Maduro.
Mentira.
No.
Eso es jodiendo, no capturaron nada.
Joel, ¿qué hago yo levantándote a las 5 de la mañana diciéndote esto?
Eso es mentira.
It's a lie. Checking his phone.
Sufran, coño.
That's hilarious.
Sufran. Celebrar, coño. Celebrar la libertad, coño, la libertad. Gracias, Estados Unidos. Dios mío. Qué notición. Qué noticia. Mira aquí.
Te dije.
Ahora vienen los cabrones estos. Ahora que vengan estos ahora. Están cagados. Cagados están.
Cuba, que es un acto criminal.
Acto criminal es lo que tienen con ellos, lo tenían con los venezolanos. Eso es un acto criminal. Es un día emocionante. En muchos sentidos.
All right. More. Oh, yeah. Well, I ought to bring that up. Indicted out of the Southern District of New York, of all places, back in 2020. It was indicted all the way back in 2020. Unsealed after all these years. Interesting. March 26, 2020. Okay. U.S. prosecutors and SDNY brought these charges, meaning any arrest warrant issued under those charges would originate from this federal court. Okay, part of a broader case alleging that Maduro and several current and former Venezuelan officials conspired to traffic cocaine into the United States and commit related offenses. Yep. Bingo. That we've seen. Oh, okay. Is that all we get? Yep, I guess so. That's useful. Okay. Why not? Let's see it.
Right now, Uruguay is having a lot of trouble with drugs, and Trump did the correct operation in 2 hours, with a good movement, because he's taking care of freedom, he's taking care of safety in United States, and we are very happy. And I have some friends call me today that they were really skeptical, telling me hey, we don't believe in Trump. He's all the time telling lies about Venezuela. He wants to protect the interests of some oil companies. And today they call me, hey, you were right. We have to vote Trump. So this movement with Venezuela, I think it's a really good movement for freedom and for the interests of America, because we have to win the midterms with the Hispanic voters, because last month with the misinformation of channels like Univision or Telemundo, with the ICE operation, telling lies to the Hispanic community, we lost New York, we lost Miami. And I think that Trump showed today to the Hispanic community that he's a man of God, he's a peacemaker for all the Hispanic community, and he wants to promote all the countries like the freedom in Colombia. We have to take out Petro from the government. We have Peru is very important, where the socialists want to take the power in some months. And I'm pretty sure that Marco Rubio, that Christopher Landau, that people in the Trump administration, they want to take freedom to all over the world. And it's very important that Venezuela regime was financing, was supporting with billions of dollars the international terrorism, Hezbollah, Hamas, and now we are more freedom.
Javier, we did. Here, we didn't take out. We extracted Maduro because of an indictment in the Southern District of New York to stand in front of justice in a New York City courtroom, Lower Manhattan.
Yeah. All right, hold on. We got a big thread here. Lots of footage from on the ground. Let's go to the freshest, maybe the bottom of the pile here. Dang, man. Just keeps going and going and going. Come on now. Wow, this is quite a compilation. Okay, here we go. Groups of people in Caracas supporting Maduro. Gosh. Mayor of Caracas again, Carmen Melendez.
Caracas, 3 de enero del 2026. Hoy nos encontramos reunidos aquí en el órgano de dirección para la defensa integral de Caracas, compatriotas, calma y cordura, nervios de acero, máxima movilización popular.
Maximum popular mobilization.
Esta señora que no ha parado de llorar desde que llegó, viene en
This lady has
pijama.
not stopped crying in celebration.
Es un milagro. Gracias, Dios mío.
Thank you, my God.
Gracias.
Thank you, God. I knelt and cried at home over it. Thank you very much. Okay, now we get a young person. I don't know what she's talking about here. A lot of emotion. The atmosphere is impressive. Captivates you to be in a moment and have this as a unique experience in history is incredible. How old are you? 19. You've lived your whole life already waiting for this to happen. How many years have you been living here in the United States? I was 11 years old when I came over. Where are your parents? Are your parents here with you? Yes, my parents are here. My dad was an opposition legislator and was politically persecuted. Wow. And he came here for to flee and that we might have a good education. It's very crazy from one day to the next, me at 2 o'clock in the morning, standing out of nowhere. I watch a video and then I watch another video. And I said, it's actually happening. It's very surreal. But what joy. I'm the sister of Yorvis Suarez, this woman says, a dead woman. When the Guarimba had to emigrate through this regime, this must be some persecuted group, I don't know. I'm happy because we have a brother, we've had a brother taken from us, a son and uncle. I'm happy that justice is being done for all the blood spilled in Venezuela. Free Venezuela. What a thrill, my God. I adore you, Venezuela. What a thrill. Venezuela es libre.
Gracias, Dios.
Thank you, God.
¡Viva Venezuela!
It's hard not to smile at that.
¡Vecinos, piénsense que somos libres!
Well,
¡Mi gente libre!
my free people.
Agarraron a
They caught Maduro. They left already.
Maduro, se fueron ya. ¡Qué feliz!
What happiness, God. Thank you. I don't know what he's talking about here. I'm going to go for my aunt, Rebelia, my God, Venezuela, pussy. I don't no idea. I think we're getting a bad translation here. I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. My people. Oh my God, I don't even know how to explain or what to say to him, to God. But the Maduro regime, Uncle Trump, thank you, thanks man, Viva Venezuela. Viva Venezuela, bro. Bye-bye Maduro, bye-bye Chavita. Bye-bye, go F yourself. Waking family up to tell them they caught Maduro. No, no, don't tell me. That was announced by Trump. No, he was caught. Aw. Aw.
te digo bye bye, chao sayonara.
People in Venezuela waiting the situation at home. They're unsure what's happening. Even our cook in the hotel didn't come to work.
This is the Avenue of Francesca de Miranda, just off of the Liberator Avenue. One of, a few of the main streets here in Caracas. It's empty. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30. Usually these streets are packed with traffic, with people. There's no one here. In fact, even the cook at our hotel refused to come to work for breakfast because, like many Venezuelans, she prefers to wait out this uncertainty 6 hours after the strike by the United States, to wait out this uncertainty at home rather than risk going outside and who knows what.
Lining up to try and get food to wait this out. Man, look at that line. Yikes. Around the corner. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Pro Maduro people here.
Un mensaje desde aquí del estado de La Guaira, son las 3:22 de la madrugada. No le tenemos miedo. Nuestro pueblo está lleno de sangre de Simón Bolívar. Tenemos sangre en las venas de Simón Bolívar. Estamos aquí en La Guaira con nuestro pueblo activo. Un mensaje de resistencia. Huele a pólvora aquí. Estamos siendo violados internacionalmente. Denunciamos lo que está pasando en nuestro país. No tenemos miedo. Que viva Venezuela. Venezuela libre. Venezuela soberana. Aquí estamos en la calle. 3:22 de la madrugada.
Okay. Damage at La Carlota Air Base in Caracas caused by the U.S. bombing.
Muy atentos porque les vamos a mostrar las imágenes del punto donde ocurrió el ataque. Mientras podemos reseñar que este es el edificio de la sede de la Comandancia de la Aviación, donde no se registró afortunadamente afectaciones de consideración, pero sí un poco más adelante, donde varias unidades de transporte civil fueron destruidas y también equipamiento militar que se encontraba en el sitio. Les estamos recordando que estamos transmitiendo en vivo.
Okay, do we get a better look here? Yes.
Ajá, ahí lo tenemos. Una unidad que fue destruida, en este caso, con
So they destroyed a shitty bus.
este ataque.
There we go, there's some military gear.
Podemos ver la reja. Esto que ustedes ven aquí son las esquirlas,
Oh, wow.
producto de la deflagración de los
Shrapnel.
explosivos. Precisamente por este fenómeno que les estamos comentando de las esquirlas que causó este nivel de devastación, ocurrió al lado de la autopista. ¿Y qué significa esto? Que su mamá o su familia de factores que quieren lograr por la violencia lo que no han...
Interesting. All right. Exiled Venezuelans in Chile celebrate Maduro being captured.
Amanecimos felices porque de
We woke
verdad
up happy, really, really happy. This is really a happy new year. It was news that we've been waiting for a long time. The narco dictator has finally fallen. We'd been waiting for many years. This prompt freedom, it's good, but at least we're coming out of one of the worst rats in Venezuela. Odd translation. Thanks to the Trump admin for this freedom that has been given to us somehow, with Edmundo Gonzalez and Marina Corina to go to the Venezuelan Libertadores. This is something, I don't know how to explain it. It's an emotion. No, cuts off. More footage.
¡Nos están invadiendo!
Yikes.
Señor, yo vengo de Fantasura. Yo vengo de Fantasura.
We saw that. Here's Delcy Rodriguez again, the vice president under Maduro. We must stand up in defense of our homeland. All sectors of Venezuelan society must be mobilized to safeguard Venezuela's independence.
Así que el llamado es muy claro. Las instrucciones del presidente Maduro han sido dadas. Las instrucciones del presidente Maduro es activar inmediatamente, y así lo sabe el ministro de la Defensa, Vladimir Padrino López, lo sabe nuestra Fuerza Armada Nacional Bolivariana, lo sabe el pueblo.
The instructions of Maduro have been given. The instructions of Maduro are to immediately activate. This is known by the Minister of Defense, Vladimir Padrino Lopez. It's known by our Bolivarian National Armed Forces. It's known by the Venezuelan people organized in the militia. It's known by our citizen security bodies. Well, then why was no one fighting back? If she keeps this up, they may well get their chance. All right. Let me see. Yes, we are at the top of the hour, and Sunny is in. How you doing?
Hi there. I'm doing good.
Quite a night it's been, hasn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. Plenty to talk about. That's always good. Yeah.
Onward with 2026, I guess.
Yeah, right. Off to quite a start. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for sitting in again. I appreciate it.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
Glad to do it. I'm,
Big
you know,
help.
it's
It's such a big
great, and
help.
there's
You have
nothing
no
to do
idea.
here. So sometimes it just helps me to keep busy and my mind off other things.
Cool. That's good.
Oh,
Good stuff. Well, I'll let you get to it then.
all right. Thanks.
Yep. Have a good show. See you.
Thank you. All right,
Bye.
everybody. I'm sorry, cut you off a little bit. Did you want? Oh, he wanted.